Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me and allowing me to continue to be your daily advocate. If you're new here or you're not subscribed for any reason, please do me a huge favor and hit the subscribe button. Thank you to all of you who have been watching and following me for so long. It truly means a lot, and I'm glad that I can be this person.
Yesterday, I put out a video where I was covering the biggest lawsuit that no one is talking about. And I don't mean literally nobody is talking about it or hasn't talked about it to this point, but it's probably the best kept secret in the world of crypto, especially for those in the XRP community. And it's that Coinbase has been sued. I believe it's a class action suit, so it's not the SEC suing Coinbase, but they're claiming that cryptocurrency exchange Coinbase has been selling unregistered securities, specifically cited 79 unregistered securities, and XRP is one of the cryptocurrencies listed. So news of this amongst our community, it didn't really start circulating until yesterday, which was super interesting to me because the initial complaint was filed in October of last year. So I started thinking, how is it that nobody has seen this? And it is indeed the case. I'm not the only one. At first I was wondering, like, this is such big news. Like, what is going on here? How have we not seen this heavily circulated? I still don't have the answer for that. But I'm going to share with you what some people had to say, and a couple crypto entities that actually did talk about it, but it seems like they buried the lead. Maybe not intentionally, I'm not making that claim, but they buried the lead in terms of the way that it was being reported. Also, the firm that's representing the plaintiff in this case, claiming that Coinbase sold XRP and a bunch of other cryptos as unregistered securities. The firm that is representing the plaintiff making these accusations, there may be a connection to Gary Gensler, actually, believe it or not. Now, as far as the meaning of this, if any, not clear, but there's a lot of moving parts, and I can appreciate a little bit of dot connecting as long as there's not wild conspiracy theory accusations made when they're not warranted. I'm down. Because in the case of stuff like, Bill Hinman, Billy Boy Hinman, and the appearances of impropriety, like, there's really something there. That's not a conspiracy theory. But this, it is interesting that the lawyers here going after Coinbase happen to have been in close proximity to Gary Gensler. And I'll share with you the specifics along with some other thoughts having to do with this. There's so much in this. I'm sure that the community and especially the attorneys within the community will continue to break this thing down moving forward. But I do want to be clear, I don't have a legal or financial background of any kind. I am not offering legal or financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. And by the way, wait till we get to the, I'm going to probably cover this part a little bit in the later portion of the video, but wait till we get to the fun part where I can highlight just the degree to which the attorneys that put this legal filing against Coinbase together they have no idea what they're talking about when it comes to crypto. Like, just about 0% understanding, apparently, of what decentralization and how blockchain is and how blockchains work. So, XRP community member Stefan Huber is one of the earliest ones that was sharing this suit yesterday. And this was news to pretty much everybody. Attorney James Filan shared it, and Stefan tagged me here, so shout out Stefan, thanks for tagging me here. And I responded to Stefan and I wrote, this suit dates back to October 8th of 2021, and I have no memory of this lawsuit whatsoever. I'm sitting here wondering how I could forget a story this big, or how the XRP community hasn't discovered the story yet. Not sure which it is. Digging in now. And so look, I'm not going to remember everything. I cover all sorts of stuff, but something like this big, I'm like, are you kidding? Coinbase getting sued because XRP is one of the alleged securities to have been sold by them? I was thinking that should have really stood out to me. And it turns out it wasn't just me. And then I also wrote, as far as I can tell, this is the first time the XRP community has been made aware of this case, despite the fact the suit was filed over 5 months ago. Understandable people don't yet realize this is isn't technically breaking news. It's just news to us, but that's fine in my humble opinion. And so what I meant by that is I wasn't blaming XRP community members for not knowing this. This wasn't circulating in crypto media in any sort of notable degree. Attorney John Deaton retweeted that for me, and he wrote the following. Let me tell you something about this. There's been no advertisement about this class action that I'm aware of. Usually, there would be some promotion or social media word of mouth. It is as if its filing was strategically done. And I have to admit, it's weird to me. This is a big story. It's not being covered. Not sufficiently, anyway. And so I retweeted that from Attorney John Deaton, and I wrote, I find it peculiar that I can't find any stories from CoinDesk and the like. You'd think this is exactly the type of major story they'd want to cover. How did the entirety of crypto media miss this story for 5 months? I'm just surprised and don't know if that means anything. Can anyone find a crypto media story on this from October of 2021? I don't know what other keywords to punch in, but nothing comes up for me. The only results I get, and there aren't many, are from Law360 and a couple other legal platforms. And I'm not kidding, folks, pretty much every day, for the sake of putting content together for my YouTube videos, I'm Googling all sorts of stories. Sometimes I need refreshers. I'm not actually an encyclopedia. I can't retain everything. I wish I could. Sometimes I need refreshers, so I'm always looking for old stories and rereading stuff all the time. And Google's pretty good at this stuff. It's not hard to find stories. This one I struggled with, and I promise, this is not the first time I've ever used interwebs. Like, it wasn't the first time ever. I know how to use the internet. I know how to use Google. Doesn't mean there wouldn't be people more proficient at Google searching than me, but when it comes to the crypto stories, they typically pop up, and they weren't, and I'm like, okay, this isn't normal. This is weird. So again, here in this tweet, I was like, can you guys find anything? Credit to Crypto Granddad, I should actually heart these, found 2 stories from crypto media outlets that aren't well known. One's CoinGeek and one is ThinkAdvisor. I've never even heard of ThinkAdvisor. And so this is the entirety of what's been covered here that I'm aware of anyway. Maybe there are more, and that's fine if so. It's just weird that it's hard to find this information, and I still think the lead was buried, because look at this headline. Coinbase hit with class action suit for failure to register as an exchange. That's the headline. Well, to me, that kind of buries the lead. And again, I'm not saying intentionally. I just, that's not the headline I would have gone with. I mean, the story, sure, yes, they're getting sued for not registering, but why? What's the true significance here? The significance is the claim that 79 cryptos that are being traded and offered on Coinbase, they're being claimed to be unregistered securities, including XRP. 79 unregistered securities. So this is actually a gigantic deal. So why wasn't there like huge talk about it in crypto, in social media rather, in the world of crypto? That didn't happen, right? I mean, I'm here. I'm not the only one that found that this didn't happen, so I'm just curious about that. But there is a lot of information in here that's worth breaking down. In fact, take a look at this. So this is from my fellow XRP YouTuber, Brad Kimes. And he wrote, so this Coinbase lawsuit reeks of Gary Gensler's entire approach to crypto. God bless Google search. Lo and behold, what are the odds that Gary Gensler and Philip Salendi just happens to be on the same charity? And so what's he talking about here? This gentleman right here, Philip Salendi, on the same charity as Gary Gensler. Here, let me change the picture. Whoop, my computer's lagging there, so it threw me off for a second. So here you can see for this this outing, here's Philip and Jennifer Salendi listed. So they're partners at the Salendi Law Firm, which is the law firm that is representing the plaintiffs in this case against Coinbase. And then you also have Gary Gensler. So does this mean anything? Don't know for sure, but the only way to find out is to continue to connect dots. So so the reason it's worth even highlighting this is because if our community works together to search the internet endlessly to find these connections, if you can find a bunch of additional connections like this, especially between these individuals, that would start to increase the probability that something else is going on here. That's why it matters. So I'm not saying this one thing in and of itself is some sort of silver bullet. Aha, there's something awry here. Like, no, I'm not saying that, but I am saying it's significant because as a community, we're all working to hunt this down. And I tell you, the SEC, I don't think they fully understood how big our community was, and the fact that we're just not going to take this crap laying down, which is why everybody's spending their own time looking into this stuff. It's incredible. And then Attorney John Deaton responded to that and wrote, the complaint reads like a few of Gary Gensler's recent interviews, starting with the one he did with Jim Cramer. Yeah, I kind of thought that too. I actually mentioned in my video yesterday, that really this complaint, a lot of it to me, the way it initially struck me, is it just reminded me of the initial SEC complaint. But yeah, John Deaton's point is certainly not lost to me. Yeah, that sounds about right. And then there was this from XRP community member Martin Kelly, who brought up a really great point in response to one of my tweets. He wrote, why did the SEC let Coinbase IPO and then a lawsuit accusing of securities be allowed to happen? So it is kind of funny. Now, it's not that the SEC is suing them, but what I found interesting is the SEC approved this. So won't it be interesting if the SEC ends up going back and attacking Coinbase for for them not being, or at least filing to become a registered security trading, registered exchange trading securities? Are they actually going to go and do that? Because Coinbase, they're a publicly traded company. The SEC said, yep, you can go ahead and do this. So if they go back and sue them, like, the optics of that are going to be completely ridiculous. But it's funny. So why would they allow Coinbase to have their IPO if they thought that it was just trading like 79 securities? I mean, maybe one gets through and like, okay, maybe. If they're selling 79 and the SEC approved that, that looks really weird. And then Martin Kelly also wrote, this looks like another Bitcoin and Ethereum special interest play. There was the original lawsuit against Ripple by retail purchasers, and this looks like a similar play. File a lawsuit accusing everything else of being securities except for Bitcoin and Ethereum. It's got JP Morgan and Lubin all over it. And indeed, it does seem to be the case that, from what I've seen, and I haven't read all 260-ish pages of this thing, and I'm not going to read the whole thing. Hell no. But Bitcoin and Ethereum, they seem to be getting the pass from the authors at this Solendi law firm, saying, yeah, Bitcoin and Ethereum very unique, which I'm going to highlight. Actually, let's just go ahead and do that one now. XRP community member and attorney Bill retweeted one of my the tweets and said, do you find it curious that these plaintiffs had so many coins in their portfolio, but they have no concerns about Bitcoin and Ethereum? They even allege Dogecoin, which is proof of work, is centralized because 65% of Doge is held in 98 wallets. Who benefits from a lawsuit that targets all coins except Ethereum and Bitcoin, being the two coins the SEC regards as decentralized, despite the Ethereum ICO? Very good questions, Bill. I'm wondering the same thing. Now, if you take a look here, it gets really, really extra super duper stupid here. Look at, this is on page 15 of the actual legal complaint that was filed against Coinbase. Section 52 here reads as follows. I got some comments on this, but it reads as follows. Often, a crypto security will begin with an initial coin offering or ICO. This ICO will allow members of the public to buy tokens directly from the issuer. On other occasions, the issuer will distribute some tokens for free to users in an airdrop and then begin selling the tokens on the secondary market through one or more exchanges. Regardless, the tokens, which were generated by the issuer themselves, do not derive value through algorithmic scarcity. Again, hear that again. This is ridiculous. I'm going to come back to this. Regardless, the tokens, which were generated by the issuer themselves, do not derive value through algorithmic scarcity and are thus unlike Bitcoin and Ethereum. They're unlike Bitcoin and Ethereum and are not backed by a reserve and are thus unlike stablecoins. Is that right, Solendi law firm? Is that right? The plaintiff argues that the supply and demand don't exist for any coin issued through an ICO. Okay. It claims this is unlike Bitcoin and Ethereum. But Ethereum did have an ICO. Do they know that even? This is some sloppy work, or they're just being completely disingenuous. They also claim that the price will not result from scarcity for tokens issued by a central entity. Now, they falsely claim Ripple issued XRP, but please tell me, setting that aside, please tell me, what great Ripple announcement caused XRP to run up to nearly $4 in early 2018? Did supply and demand really not play a factor here? What if the circulating supply of XRP were half of what it actually was in late 2017? Don't you think that if half the supply were available back then, that perhaps the price would have been closer to $8 instead of $4? And the same amount of money would have gone in, But it's just supply and demand. Like, what would each token be worth if there's half as many? So the humans speculating, they still have the same amount of money, but instead of it being close to 4, would have been closer to $7 or $8. Don't you think? It's supply and demand, folks. Like, these idiots need to attend an economics 101 class before proceeding with this lawsuit. I insist. I'm sorry, I must insist. It's so stupid. So damn stupid. Then, another part I want to cover here, section 47 on page 14. Check this out, too. They write the following. Accordingly, there is no Bitcoin Inc. that administers or manages Bitcoin as a whole. If Bitcoin were run on centralized servers, the underlying value of Bitcoin would rely on the trust that individuals had in those operating the centralized servers. If Bitcoin's creator could issue more Bitcoin at a whim, the value of Bitcoin would reflect that uncertainty. But because Bitcoin's cryptographic protocols are self-sustaining and cannot be affected by the originator, the success of Bitcoin does not hinge on any single entity. This decentralization distinguishes Bitcoin from other assets. Bitcoin's just the one in a million. Are you kidding me here? This decentralization. They're arguing here that Bitcoin is the only decentral cryptocurrency out there, and then they go on to cite later separately that's not true, because then they argue that Bitcoin and Ethereum both are decentralized cryptocurrencies. But then they also said that if there's an ICO, it's not decentralized. Ethereum had an ICO, but it's still decentralized because reasons. So what? It's freaking idiots. This is completely ridiculous.
So enjoy your day, everybody. I'm always here for you. Leave any comments or questions below, and be sure to subscribe. But thanks, everybody. I really appreciate you. Enjoy your day, and I always have your back. So thanks so much, everybody.